Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Brahma Kumaris, Silicon Valley. We will get started with the parenting series, Building Strong Relationship with Kids. Today is the last class on this series. So, as always, we'll get started with a short meditation. So, please join me. Relax the body, loosen it, make it comfortable, and let's take few deep breaths in silence. If we don't have the habit of sitting in silence, then the mind is very noisy. The mind is always chatting, wanting our attention. It's trying to relate to us what are inside the core, our heart feels. Deep down within us, we've buried, we've buried many memories, lot of information, and the mind keeps reminding us. It's my responsibility to keep the heart clean, clear, light, and fragrant. And when we have lot of past memories which are bitter and sour, then it makes the heart dirty and pungent. We either feel the emotions of anger, disheartenment, sadness, and such a heart is cold, devoid of any love. And what relationships can one forge without love? So let's look at the stories the mind is presenting to us. If it is our mistakes, can we be that strong being who forgives the self and says, all right, next time we will be careful. I send my heartfelt apologies to the person that got affected by my mistake. I apologize. And when the mind shows us the mistakes of others, I remember that I am the child of Usha for forgiveness, God. So for me, forgiving is easy and holding on to hurt and resentment is hard. So as I forgive myself and others, the dirty, bitter memories get erased, cleansed, and my heart becomes light. The most sacred place is our own heart, not the physical heart that just pumps blood, but the heart of the soul, the spirit that I am, the heart that feels, the heart that has an intention. I need to keep that heart clean, clear, light, and fragrant so that I can remember my eternal parent God easily, effortlessly. The mind is disturbed when there are feelings of the past disturbing the heart. But when everything is forgotten through forgiveness, then such a heart can connect to the ocean of purity, God, very easily. It can be with God. It can be like God. Don't we all want an easy life, a carefree life, a childlike, innocent life that is possible when the heart is clean? Children are attractive, adorable, because their heart is clean. They don't have any ill feelings towards others. Each human soul has the potential to have a childlike, innocent heart. Thank you. The cleanest, the merriest, and the loveliest God, for helping me understand how the purity and cleanliness of heart will enable me to have an easy connection with you. I am blessed directly by God. What else could I want? I have everything that I need. Welcome everyone to the last class on building strong relationship with kids. We will talk about few additional qualities and personality traits that really help in sustaining this strong connection, deep connection with kids or overall with every member of the family. So we'll get started with one of the first ones that I wanted to go over was the quality of flexibility. And this particular quality um, really helps, goes a very long way in maintaining healthy relationships, very strong relationships. And I was in general a very person who was very flexible in the physical ways, where I have been practicing physical yoga for a very long time, and I would get compliments from many people that, oh my gosh, your body is so flexible. So when the body is flexible, it's not stiff, then it's very easy to exercise and mold it and practice any kind of exercise. That means you can basically exercise every part, every cell of your body very easily, because you can mold very easily. So, flexibility in the body has its own advantages, but the Raj Yoga meditation we are taught at Brahma Kumaris helps in creating flexibility here at the soul or the mind level. So, when we make our mind, our thoughts very flexible, then it leads to all kinds of beautiful experiences in relationships. So, generally, we expect flexibility from others. We are constantly actually trying to control others, wanting them to oblige to our demands, to our expectations. And many people think that is the power. In fact, the moment we are dependent on others, that when they listen to me, when they agree with me, when they obey me, that's when I will be happy. That's when I'll feel respected. That's when I will feel powerful. The moment that kind of a thought comes, we all know we become dependent on people to feel the power, to feel respect. And such a person is always fearful, and they feel insulted very quickly when people are not flexible. So they themselves cannot be flexible, but they want others to always bend and agree with them. So in this world, many people have lot of opinions about everything. Every small little thing, people have opinion. Where a cup should be placed, what color of umbrella you should buy, or literally every small little detail, people have opinion. And when every family member has a lot of opinion, there is automatically going to be a conflict. There is going to be this rat race or the ego struggles, where whose opinion is going to win. So, for me, this is something that I had practiced repeatedly, and I highly recommend all of you also to try it, that not have any kind of opinion. Just try 1 week that I will not express any opinion unless you're seeing some kind of danger or safety or health hazard. I will not say anything. I will just get along with whatever the family is deciding, whatever they are saying. I will keep my mouth shut. And here also, I will try not to judge other people's opinion. You will find so much silence and peace inside, because when we are always expressing our opinion, when we always have a viewpoint about everything, then that viewpoint is not there just for the sake of it. There is a lot of ego associated with it, and we want the family to agree with that viewpoint. We want our opinion to win. That opinion is not just like that for the sake of it. There is an intention of proving to others that I have the best idea, my opinion is the best opinion, and that is what should go forward. Um, so, one is indeed to practice this because it feels very light. There's a lot of peace because it's a lot of actually mind gets very busy when we have too many opinions. The intellect, actually, the intellect, which is the buddhi or the conscious mind, which is the one that discerns between right and wrong, it gets busy. I'm saying this is right, this is how it should be done. I don't know why they don't understand. I'm an expert. I already know this. This is what is the best option. I have done all the research. Why don't they get it? There is a lot of thoughts. And then if somebody is not agreeing, again, a lot of thoughts of arguments and kind of trying to convince them. And if they're still not convinced, even more conflicting thoughts. Try going out on a vacation with family and not create any kind of viewpoints. Adjust and be flexible. See how that vacation feels like. It's really like one of this quote is saying, it opens up unlimited possibilities and opportunities. So, we are, when we are flexible, it basically means we are completely open to other people's opinions and their feelings. So, when it's something that we need to constantly check, because kids nowadays are not someone that you can just tell them what to do and what not to do. They don't like to be told, whether it is food or anything simple like studying, how you should study, what are good studying habits. They don't like to be told at all. So I have to check, am I open to the viewpoint of the young generation? Even though that viewpoint might not be right, am I open? Now, open does not mean I agree with it, but I respect your viewpoint, the kind of experiences you are going through, which is the young generation hanging out with young generation, and the kind of experiences with their friends and whatever they might be watching. As a result of that, they have certain viewpoints. So respecting others viewpoints and not imposing my viewpoint all the time doesn't mean I give up my viewpoint, doesn't mean I have to agree whether yours is better or mine is better, or I have to announce that, yeah, I'm okay, I respect yours, but I think mine is better. No declaration. There is nothing to prove here. My viewpoint is for my own sake. I live by my viewpoint, but doesn't mean I will impose my viewpoint on you. For some things, I would like to admit that I have been little inflexible. For example, I've been brought up with a vegetarian background, no eggs either, no meat, absolutely complete pure vegetarian meal always. And living in US, many people from my religion said, what are you doing? You're making your kids life very difficult, your life very difficult, and it's not even healthy. Kids need the meat. So I obviously listened to everyone, but didn't agree with anyone. And I kept my thing that, hey, till 18, they are living in my house. My house, no meat is coming. That is my strong belief. That's how I was brought up. And I feel killing animal is a cruelty. With cruelty, you can never get healthy body. That was my strong belief. No matter what science might say, one day science will come back and say, hey, by the way, wrong research. Meat is actually very harmful, which it does say now. There are many articles which talk about how harmful animal food is. So there I was not flexible. And I told my kids, hey, you know what? Once you get 18, you have all the freedom to choose whatever you want to eat. But till you are here in this house, it's only going to be vegetarian. And literally, barely any struggles from either one of them. Both the kids to date are vegetarian. They love vegetarian food and they plan to stay vegetarian for rest of their life. So yes, there are certain things where we have, like it could be related to the health, safety, where we are not flexible, could be some curfew time that we have in the house, not flexible there. So flexibility does not mean I give up my principles, my values, my religion, my everything. And also, like if the kid is wanting to do practice like cigarette smoking, alcohol, no, not happening. You are under me, you are my financial responsibility. My money is not going in investing in things that will ruin your body. So we can certainly be inflexible in things which we know will harm our kids or are against our moral and principal values. So inflexible there, but everywhere else. Now, why does this help in building deep connection? Because flexibility is a quality that enables us to really respect the individuality of every person. It's basically adjusting and not only respecting, actually, adjusting and doing things in their way. So, not trying to boast off here, but for example, my kids love non-Indian food a lot. So 2 times a week, and in fact, even during weekends, so maybe at least 3, 4 times, there will be non-Indian meal. And many times, I myself, I'm not so much of a non-Indian meal person, so I will end up cooking two things, and I am flexible to their opinion. I also adjust myself to make things that they like, although it might be more work for me. But it is a sense where I'm respecting their, their own individuality, their own likes, and giving in, also maybe eating that non-Indian food, becoming flexible even though my preference is Indian, and even though I am the one who's cooking, and even though I am the one who's having to do twice the work. It is something that shows how much you care. Where there is love, flexibility becomes very easy, because you know that's the thing that will preserve my child's uniqueness. And where there is you, where the parents do a good job of protecting the child's viewpoint, even though it is different, contrasting, such a child ends up being very secured and confident in who they are. And a parent who's constantly crushing the child's viewpoint because they feel it is wrong, and it's quite possible nowadays, young generation, many of their viewpoints are not right, but can we still be respectful and present our viewpoint, try to see if they will agree with it? But they might not. That's how the new generation is. So respecting others viewpoint comes when we are flexible. And then this flexibility actually leads to open mindedness. We become very, very adjusting and very, very accepting of other people's behavior, their viewpoint, and everything. So, one is a closed mindset where you are very attached to your way of doing things. That cooking needs to be done in certain way, chopping needs to be done in a certain way, everything you have an opinion, cooking cleaning, chopping, whatever that might be, you have a lot of opinions, and you can't accept anything. For such a person, it is very hard to adjust with anyone. So when I accept people, situations the way they are, that is when there is lot of love that remains in my heart. So expectation, we all know, leads to anger. I expect the child to only study and not be on chat or not be playing video games. I expect. Indeed, it is a right rule and discipline that we want that. But what is the realities? Today's kids, they need their chat and the study together. They can't do one without the other. It is really a little bit of a sad situation, but that is the reality. So when I accept, that is, I don't let that habit or that working style or their personality disturb me, because my expectation is this is how the reading habit should be, this is how the room should look like, this is how eating food should be. For everything we have an opinion. Again, this comes down to that flexibility, having too many opinions, and after opinion, attachment to it, that mine is the best, everyone should agree in the family. And I become very irritated when they don't agree, because I can't see beyond it. I am right means right. So keeping an open mind leads to lot of acceptance. Again, here, acceptance does not mean I agree, doesn't mean that I feel it's the right way to read, that you're chatting on one side and then you're reading. I don't agree. And if my child asks, I'll say, hey, I don't agree, but I understand that's the way you function. And it is actually, to some extent, you have to give it to these kids that with such kind of distraction, they are able to do a decent job. They're doing well in studies. Imagine what they would do if they had full focus, right? So, but, um, but that is the way they are functioning these days, where they have to do things in a haphazard manner or multitasking that has become very, very norm for most kids. So, when instead of questioning their behavior or their viewpoint, when I accept it, saying, all right, this is how the child is, this is how they will work, this is how they will function, then such an acceptance automatically releases a lot of peace and love from our heart. But if I have not accepted it, then all my heart and mind will try to do is to control them till they don't agree with what I am expecting, and change their behavior, change their style, their viewpoint. I will not be peaceful. Constantly, my mind will be going back again and again, nagging the child, trying to control them, and then it becomes very difficult. So, this is a very beautiful quote. Your expectations will hold others back, and your acceptance will let others fly. What do you want to do? Right? So, this is again like there are a lot of things where there are certain boundaries which we do keep the child in, but then there are certain things where we have to just accept the reality. Reality is not that pretty these days, but like many people say, pick your battles, right? If we have an opinion or expectation on every front, then it is suffocation for the child, that they have no freedom to do anything. So, lot of complications in relationship arise when a parent has many expectations. So check in a day, end of the day, note down all the expectations you had from your family member. And a person who expects will constantly be either irritated, mad, or disappointed, disheartened. These are the four emotions. Irritation, which will then bubble up to anger or resentment. And then the different personality type could be just disappointment, disheartenment, feeling completely demotivated because nobody is listening to me. I want people to agree with me. I'm telling them for their own good. And so, flexibility also leads to easiness, easy natured personality. The beautiful word in Hindi is saralta, which is, again, these are so interconnected to this one wise, which is called desires. A person who has lot of desires, you can also say it in other words, many opinions, everything, it stems out of ego, that I know better, I have seen life more, everything that I am saying is right, i have I have good judgment here. I have better knowledge here. I'm more experienced. I care about you more. I know more about you than you know yourself. When there is lot of such ego, from that ego stems out lot of expectations and opinion. And those opinions and expectations are not just for the sake of it. We want others to oblige, to meet our expectation. but when but when a child is brought up from a parent who's very egoistic, who has lot of expectation, then such a child feels a burden, huge burden. They feel suffocation, that there are a lot of boundaries of do's and don'ts. And also they find it very hard to keep the parent happy. They constantly, such kids can be of two types here. One could be one who will give in because they want to desperately please their parents, so they keep bending and bending. They will end up being a low self esteem kind of personality, very low self esteem, always lacking confidence in the self. They've been busy pleasing their parents. They've been bending at parents' every opinion. They've been killing their own opinion and viewpoints. And then the other personality type here is basically where they get so suffocated with all of these controls that the parents have. They start rebelling, so there is a rebel that gets created in the child. They start arguing, a lot of conflicts happen. And a teenager who can then just not get along with the parent at all. This child also ends up being again very insecure. They might show it up as overconfidence, superiority complex, because whole life they had to act that overbearing personality to crush the personality of the parent. So they end up carrying that kind of superiority complex kind of personality with them, which is also not actually self respect and confidence. It's just trying to put on a mask to hide the hidden insecurities. And so when we understand this flexibility or easiness or easy natured personality comes when we understand the beauty of every human soul, and when we develop humility by understanding the spiritual knowledge, not the limited knowledge of what kind of qualities I might have and others might not have, but really the overall understanding of the human souls, its journey in this world drama, how every human soul is royal, pure, and beautiful. When we understand the truth of every soul, then this ego that we have, that I know better, my opinion is the best, all of that automatically stops arising in us, and we become very humble. Where there is no humility, relationships are very, very hard. And humility automatically will enable you to bend very easily, and now not bending on your principles or values, but really bending so that others' opinion goes forward, because we are adjusting. And when we develop bunch of all of these qualities together, family really feels like a rosary of beads. Generally beads in a rosary indicate that there is some similarity, there is a connection. Only the beads that are connected to each other make a beautiful necklace. You can't just put some random beads and make a necklace, it doesn't look that pretty. But when we all become in a family very like minded people, or people who are very flexible with each other, don't have conflicts, then such a family, you can call it a beautiful garland, that each member is a beautiful bead of a family garden. And it seems like the family is in harmony. Every word, there is a tuning between the members of the family, and that is why there is lot of harmony in that relationship. You can think about one person is saying something and the other immediately agrees or has a viewpoint, but not to argue, but just to show that we could do things in another way as well. So such a family, it could be our own reality, where everybody is either agreeing with each other, or if they are not agreeing, they're just posing different viewpoints, and nobody really cares whose viewpoint goes forward. There is no ego. When the ego dies, that family becomes really, they become fully in harmony, and they experience a lot of peace and love. Ego is one huge blocker that will not allow us to experience peace and love between family members, because ego's main thing is that it needs everyone to agree. And it's not like family generally agrees with everything, they will be happy. No, their need keeps increasing, and they expect the family to understand their new demands. Instead of really changing or wanting to meet other people's demand, they keep wanting the family to agree with them. So even if the kid is becoming very demanding and the parents are giving in, that is also problematic. Or if the parents are very, very demanding and the child has no choice, either out of fear or out of low confidence, has to agree with the parent, then also there is lot of problems. So we need to check what kind of family tuning, what kind of music is going on in the family. Is there harmony, or is there a lot of conflict, struggles, power struggles? So when this thought, right, that only I am right, when we are able to shed that thought, that's when there is harmony in relationships. And it it doesn't, so I am right, and I feel quite a few times parents are indeed right, their suggestions are right, their opinions and viewpoints are right. But imposing that only I am right is where all kinds of problems start happening. But when we know through our own experience that indeed what I am saying is right, but I'm also taking the time because I am flexible, because I care deeply about protecting my child's viewpoint. Why? Because I want them to feel secured. I want them to keep having their viewpoint, to grow up as an individual and not be brought up in my shadow. When a kid is brought up in an overbearing shadow of a parent's personality, they never blossom. They never become their greater potential or the better version of themselves. Being under a shadow means what? It's a very limited identity. And somebody's shadow cannot be your shadow. So you are actually not even comfortable being that shadow. So, parent who really loves their kid will protect the child's viewpoint, but even greater love can be expressed when we have a lot of patience and faith. Faith first. Faith that my viewpoint is right and my child will get it one day. I'm not arguing with them. I'm not doing anything. I don't mean for them to change immediately. But with all peace inside, I'm going to give you my viewpoint here and there once in a while, so that those seeds of right way of living life is somewhere inculcated in the child. For example, both me and my partner don't believe in drinking at all. And one might think, hey, you're living in 21st century, come on, you need to drink, otherwise how will you build networking, how will you socialize, how will you be cool, how will you progress in your career? Call it traditional or old fashioned. Again, does not mean that me and my partner are going and imposing our viewpoint on our kids. We understand where they are being brought up, but we still do express to them and give them the reasons of why we have this viewpoint. Very clearly, we told them if we had this kind of casual drinking kind of thing in our home, then for you all, it would have been a lot more drinking than just casual drinking, because they got the license to drink from the parents. They see the parents drinking left and right over the weekend or whatever that frequency might be. So it gives them the license. Hey, when parents drink so casually in front of us, why can't we drink? So their drinking level will already be way higher. Imagine the next generation. So I always will indeed express my viewpoint, but maintain a lot of respect and understanding for their viewpoint. And so when um, we don't have this attitude of I and mine, again, a lot of times we think my child should agree with me, should be like me. After all, you are my property. And that's when there is I and mine are the biggest sign of ego. And these are the things that we need to really, really give up. And I think I've said many times, ego indeed will not allow us to have good relationships. So when we are able to let go of that mine, no, not my child, I am just a facilitator, instrument. I've been given this beautiful gift in the form of a child whom I'm supposed to raise, but not mine. When our body itself is not ours, my body is not mine, then what can be mine? Right? When we leave, can we take our body? Can we take our degrees? Can we take our relatives? Can we take our job? Nothing. Everything is shed off here. So when we have this attachment mind, then it automatically leads to a lot of fears and a lot of egos. So also the harmony needs to be inside. This is this last quote. If your head and heart are in harmony, you can maintain harmony in relationships. So there always needs to be a balance between logic and emotion. A lot of times we get heavy on logic. They shouldn't be doing this, they should be doing that. Why would they not do it? It makes no sense. So whenever you're getting heavy on logic, it automatically creates a lot of irritation. And when you're getting heavy on emotions, oh, my child, it shouldn't happen to my child doesn't deserve this, how come it happened to my child, means you're being affected by attachment, which will lead to a lot of sadness, fear, all of those emotions. So a balance is very, very important between the heart and the brain, where I need to be logical, yes, but at the same time, I need to maintain the balance of emotions as well. So I can't be like always very logical that and then say, yes, this is how it should have been done. I don't know why the child doesn't get it. I've told them 3 times. It's not like I didn't tell them 3 times. I specifically told and they specifically agreed. They still made the mistake. Look at the way the tone of the voice changes. Why would they do it? Logical thinking. We're saying simple mistake. It happens, so it is okay. All right. After all, is a child. Or maybe purposefully forgot. Maybe they don't agree with what I'm saying. Maybe I'm being too imposing. Can I be gentle? So whenever there is a lot of irritation arising in us, we should check, have we lost love, kindness, patience, and we are becoming very heavy minded, just thinking through our mind. And when we are feeling a lot of sadness and fear and sympathy for the child, check if we are being logical. N- Nobody's child deserves pain. My child doesn't deserve. Well, everybody has some or the other karmic account from the past. We cannot see people's past life. We have to really think in a new way, saying, all right, at least this child has me as a parent. I will be there while the child clears the past. Doesn't mean I don't help. Doesn't mean I go and tell the child, hey, don't cry because you're clearing your past. Absolutely not, right? We don't tell young child all of that. But at least I am there. At least my child has my love and my strength. They will come out of it. But saying my child shouldn't have to suffer at all, yes, that is great thinking. But what is the reality? Be logical. Every human body has to go through maintenance, through repair, through health issues. There is not a single body in this universe that has not gone through it. So, am I being logical when I'm saying my child does not have to suffer? Or my child always gets these teachers who are not fair? My child deserves an A. Every child who's working hard deserves an A, but they're not getting it. Yes, there are variety of reasons for it. So maintaining an inner harmony through balance causes the relationships to be very, very strong. And so mainly killing the ego, becoming very flexible, remembering our higher purpose and goal is really to raise confident kids, not really those A graders or all rounders who need to know music, sports, science, everything, but really where there is confidence, they will learn whatever they need to learn. And that confidence in kids will come when I am a flexible personality. And you might call me biased, but maybe I'm some way old fashioned or traditional. Women do have this quality lot more of being flexible. And that is why in olden days, house used to be saved because of women's flexibility of adjustment. And nowadays, I feel that women have loved, have have left this quality in many extent, and lot of ego has developed even in moms or mothers or women. I'm a working parent, why should I? You do equal, let there be equal distribution. Lot of these things have caused many families to break. It's not really the responsibility of a woman, I don't want to put it like that, but the flexibility does save homes. And what what could be a bigger charity, bigger charity than really killing your own ego to save the family, right? And versus arguing, why should I only kill my ego? Why shouldn't the other also kill their ego? How much ego should I kill? These are the petty arguments that are made when I becomes more important than we. They say, right, I, when I'm all about I, it leads to illness. And when it is becoming we, I care about we, our family, then it becomes wellness. So you remove one letter, I, and add we there, it becomes wellness. Versus you remove the we and become egoistic, then it becomes ill, where not only will you be ill, but the entire family will also form ill. So with that, I would like to open up for a Q&A for this series. Today was the last class, and the next series will be healing relationship with kids, that will start on June 13th. We don't have classes for the next 2 weeks, but we will resume again on June 13th. And you should see the registration link to the new series on the website by tomorrow. And I will also share, send an email when the time for registration comes close. Feel free to please unmute yourself and ask questions if you have any. And on your chat, you will also find links to register for the June Raj Yoga meditation course. And also, if you would like to donate or contribute money, all of these classes are offered for free. And if you have benefited and you believe in this organization, there's also a link to contribute. And your contributions are very much appreciated. That is how this organization is running. So June 13th is a different session. Um, it's a new series that will start. So one question that has come is how to discipline kids. Now this itself is one big thing. Now discipline also, behind discipline, the deep intention of discipline should be love. I only have certain rules and regulation because there is deep love for the child's well-being, not because this is my viewpoint and you should agree. That is why I feel that healthy eating is very important. How can you not eat? This is the right view, and that is why you should eat. Being forceful. So we talked about this in some of the series, and we'll certainly repeat it. But discipline without love becomes very hard for kids to follow, and they will revolt in time. But when there is lot of love behind that discipline, you are imposing certain rules and regulations, and you also announce what will be the punishment, which is literally taking away some privileges from the child's life. um, and you take those away, but yet you have not withdrawn your love from their life. So, for example, maybe the discipline that you maintained is that they need to have a limit on their TV time or their gadget time, and they crossed it. So maybe the punishment for that was already announced, and you said, hey, this means one day you will not get your gadget or your TV time. So now I impose it. But doesn't, one is yes, impose it, but doesn't mean that whole day you don't talk to them and you keep giving them that dirty look, that silent look. But really, be there for them. The only problem was their behavior, but they themselves are still very loving. So discipline with lot of love. Any other questions?
So, sister, not the question, but the compliment. All your sessions are not only just like, healing the relationship with kids, but it's like healing relationship with adults as well. So thank you so much for amazing, amazing sessions all the time.
Thank you, Priya, for such a nice, sweet compliment. Appreciate it. In this healing relationships with kids, it's literally where, something has been, something has gone wrong, and something really broke in the process, something got deeply hurt, whether it is a child or you. We will try to see if we can take some examples and talk about it. So if you want to talk about any such situations, obviously we don't call out names in the classes, but I'm happy to take that and check with Didi and see if we can bring issues and discussions which are very, very relevant to you. But otherwise, we will come up with certain steps on how we can start healing, because each one of us, either in light ways or heavy ways, we do end up hurting each other. And hurt occurs more in close relationships. Small, small things also hurt very easily. So, how do we heal? Right, and then stay healed. So, that's what we will focus on in the June series. So feel free to share anything that you would like us to discuss for that series. Any other thoughts or questions? Otherwise, we can practice a short meditation. All right, I'll do a short meditation. I see myself as the baby, as the innocent child I was. That innocent being still exists in me. My eternal parent God always sees me as that innocent, clean soul. God understands that we've had to go through a lot of hardships, bitter experiences, difficulties, and we lost our innocence. The reality, though, is that deep within us, that beautiful innocence, the humility, the simplicity, the easiness in nature, the flexibility still exist. So let me immerse that childlike me, and instead of always being the mother of my child or the parent of my child, can I just be a friend of my child that is equal to them? Can I drop that superiority, the maturity, and the elderness? Can I drop all of that and just become equal, a true friend of my child? We always open up to our friends because friends are like minded. They don't judge, they accept. So I choose to become innocent, childlike, and I drop my ego and I build a relationship of equality with my child. Thank you, dear God, for giving me a deep understanding, wisdom, and guidance. Thank you all for joining us. Hope to see you all in the next series. Hope you have a great upcoming Memorial Day weekend. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister.